Hi, my name is Cameron Wilson, and my piece is entitled Getting Past the Stigma of Sex for Money. It's about prostitution and how it should be legal in the United States as it is in so many other countries. Prostitution is commonly referred to as the world's oldest profession. It can be seen in some of the earliest writings throughout history, and it is still very prevalent today. As I said, many countries have actually recognized that prostitution is and has been around. But in the United States, it is still very illegal. In 2004, almost 88,000 women were arrested for prostitution. Why I think that's a problem is because we are essentially arresting people for consensually agreeing to have sex. Now, there's a lot of problems that come with prostitution, and we will address those through the next few slides. In an economic sense, what we're doing by imprisoning these women who would otherwise consent to being prostitutes is we're taking away from the supply side of the equation. We are not reducing demand or having any effect on demand at all. If anything, we are simply encouraging women who otherwise would not enter the sex trade industry to do so because of the money that could be made because they are selling an illegal good. It's similar to the drug trade. People who would not sell drugs are enticed to do so because of the margin that's artificially created because the product is illegal. We are not only encouraging women to enter the sex trade who would otherwise would not consent to doing so, we are artificially creating a high crimes of human trafficking, drug addiction, and abuse of women. Human trafficking happens because there's such a large gap between the supply and the demand. The drug addiction happens because once a woman starts, it is important for the pimp to keep her addicted to the drugs in order for her to remain loyal. The abuse is the other way that pimps make sure that their women stick around. All of these three things can be avoided easily by licensing prostitution. Human trafficking and prostitution in general happens because it has such very little skill involved. It's easy to do, it's emotionally hard, and probably physically unpleasant at times, but the money that is earned by these prostitutes cannot be met for their set of skills. Actually, many women have turned to prostitution since the economic collapse of 2008 because they could not find a job that also fit their that created a lifestyle that they grew accustomed to. This is also important for considering why human trafficking happens. Is because there is no training. You can bring a woman off the streets from a different country, no English, no job skills, and she can easily become a prostitute. What's also very important and overlooked is the safety of these women. First off, they have no screening process. There's no way of them knowing who their next client is going to be. And if they do happen to run into an abusive John, they can't turn to the police for help, which leaves them very vulnerable and unable to protect themselves. So, what's the alternative? I believe a licensed and regulated business would encourage a different outlook on prostitution. First off, women would no longer be considered dirty for doing so because they would be getting tested regularly, which would help prevent STIs, STDs, and other diseases. I believe a large part of that is the owner himself or herself would want a clean business. It's like anything else. You wouldn't go to a dirty bar, you wouldn't go to a dirty brothel. Also, something I think that's very overlooked and is very important in the long run is these women would no longer have a criminal record. A criminal record. And that's why I believe it important for us to reconsider legalization of prostitution. Thank you.